At least 700 people are crushed to death and hundreds injured in stampede during Muslim pilgrimage in Mecca just 2 weeks after crane collapse killed 109. Almost 2 million pilgrims were taking part in the last major rite of the Hajj when this happened. Over 800 are also injured. As Muslims all over the world celebrate Eid al-Adha, the question remains, why do we always experience deaths at the annual pilgrimage? And how best can we avert this situation? But is it even compulsory to visit the Holy Land annually? What do you lose if you decide to stay back? This is today's big story. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Scores of bodies lied amid crushed wheelchairs and water bottles along a sun-baked street. The disaster comes just 2 weeks after a construction crane collapsed at Mecca's Grand Mosque, Islam's holiest site, killing 109 people. For about 6 years now, the pilgrimage has been without these misfortunes, especially with structural and tight security checks in Mecca during the Hajj period. So what went wrong this time round? Well, joining me in the studio is Sheikh Ibrahim Ibn Sana. He is a pharmacist and Islamic scholar. He'll help us understand the dynamics of performing Hajj. Good evening, Sheikh.
Good evening, Aisha.
Many thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Eid Mubarak.
Eid Mubarak. Kulla aam wa antum bi khair.
Thank you so much. The first question someone will ask, or the many questions I have heard people ask, is why do we even have to go for this annual pilgrimage?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the first place, the Hajj is a pillar, and therefore in Islam there are some things that are compulsory, not supererogatory, and Hajj is one of them.
Right.
Compulsory when you have the means, but then supererogatory when you don't have the means.
Exactly.
You can do it in your heart.
Right.
And when you have the means and the wherewithal, it is incumbent on you to do the Hajj, because it is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, and it is the last. And so when you believe in it, you must make the effort to perform it. So it's compulsory. It's compulsory. When you have the means.
When you have the means.
If you don't have the means, you are not held accountable.
But there have been this concern that every year, you see, I have been there, and during the time I was there in 2013.
Everybody want to perform what is called the stone throwing, the Jamaratul Aqaba.
Exactly.
After you go to Arafah, which is yesterday, from dawn to Maghrib, you become an Al-Hajj or Hajjiyah.
Yes.
But after that, you come to
go to
Muzdalifah, this is Muzdalifah.
Yeah.
And then you are supposed to sleep there and come the following morning to go to Jamaratul Aqaba. You come to Mina.
Yeah.
Go to Jamaratul Aqaba and throw your stones.
Yeah.
But these days, because of the volume of people that come, people don't sleep at Muzdalifah.
Yeah.
They just to perform 2 rak'ah and go straight, which is also permissible.
Exactly.
And when they get to Mina, take your time and rest. And then you can do it, the stone throwing, the second day, or even the third day, because it's allowed.
Yeah.
But you find a lot of people going to the same place, the same time, trying to throw the stones
at a certain time.
At a certain time, so
and
that
you
they
look
can
at all the people all over
so
the
that
world.
They can go home. And this year's one seems to be so.
Yeah.
In Muzdalifah, that is where you pick 21 stones.
Yeah.
7 stones 3 times
for 3 days.
For 3 places where Satan tested Abraham, Abraham's faith, and he defeated him by throwing those pebbles.
Right.
So people go there trying to defeat Satan at the same time. And that is why we had this stampede.
Yes.
And this place is such that it has even been improved.
Yes.
When we went, it was just one way.
Yeah.
You go this way, throw, finish, and you pass through the other one around. By this time, they have stratified it.
And even this time, you have the, what do you call it?
Yes, the lifts.
The lift. So you don't have to walk so much to get there, and you don't have to walk so much to come down. Very easy to get there.
Yes,
but the other thing is that you get there, and the one throwing the stone, if you're not careful, there's somebody standing at your back, and you are in front of someone. You may even end up receiving that stone that's supposed to be thrown to the devil.
Ideally, what is happening is that because it's been stratified, they have made the pillar long, so the pebbles are also supposed to be very small pebbles. In fact, it's an act of faith, and not the stone that is
a big
thrown.
Stone.
No, just very small pebbles. It is so because also of the volume, the number of volume that are now living in Islam and also performing Hajj.
Right.
It has nothing superstitious
Right.
to be linked to because of the Hajj. That is why it is happening. So no.
Okay.
Ideally, when you go, various people from various regions go.
Yeah.
And there are people who go there with different health status.
Exactly.
Some go there, they are diabetic. But they don't disclose it.
Yeah.
Because they want to go.
Yeah.
They don't say that I'm a diabetic
Some
patient.
are hypertensive.
Some are hypertensive.
Yeah.
There are people who walk hypertensive that they don't know.
Yeah.
Ideally, during the screening process, the medical teams of each country are supposed to screen people and ensure that you are medically fit before you go there.
I don't think that is well done in Ghana.
There's the need for an improvement. There are people who are also asthmatic. The last time that I went, there are times when you feel the atmosphere is so thick you can even cut it with a knife.
Right.
And the thickness of the atmosphere even sometimes cause people to cough.
Okay.
So if it happens that somebody has asthma, and during that process, where the crowd was very thick, almost about so many millions of people,
Right.
forgot to carry the asthma medicine, this can happen.
Yeah.
People who are hypertensive and forgot to carry their hypertensive medicine, it can happen in any process.
Right.
People who are diabetic and then go a long way without taking their medications and go there very thirsty without having to take some fluids, can also have this. And the people follow each other very closely. Remember in Quran chapter 22, Surah Al-Hajj, Allah says that وَعَزِّلْ فِي النَّاسِ بِالْحَجِّ يَعْتُوكَ رِجَالًا وَعَلَى كُلِّ ضَامِرٍ يَعْتِنَا مِنْ كُلِّ فَجِّ عَمِيقٍ.
Okay.
Allah says that we are calling people to Hajj, and people will come from the four corners, or some people use all the corners of the earth to perform Hajj, and they will come there with all goods and manners also to trade.
Right.
So people come from all corners and congregate at the same time. So when you are following each other, if you mistakenly fall on the ground
it's
and somebody doesn't see you, the next person can also fall. Somebody can step on you.
And then it follows
yes,
you.
Before somebody can rescue you.
One concern, Sheikh, has been the fact that during the Tawaf, I know that for all the period that you're in Mecca, you can perform Tawaf at any time. You can go to the mosque, pray after prayers, just do your 7 times and then go. I mean, it adds up. But on this day, you are supposed to also perform the Tawaf. After everything, after throwing your stone, you have to perform the tawaf. But my understanding is that it is not compulsory that you perform the tawaf today, because you have 3 days to perform that tawaf. But a lot of people don't understand, and that's why I'm always concerned. Is it that if you perform your tawaf tomorrow, not today, on the day of Eid, it means your Hajj has not been accepted?
No. The Hajj goes with the central theme of the Hajj is faith.
Right.
That is why the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Man hajja falam yarfus walam yafsuq raja'a ila ahlihi kayawm waladatuhu ummuhu." Whoever performs Hajj without having any conjugal relation with his or her, his wife, without fighting or insulting or using an obscene language, returns to his family like the day the mother gave birth to him.
Yes.
And that is the central theme of Hajj. And on top of that central theme, you have the faith aspect, which is the slaughtering. Remember when people come back to Mina, they do this slaughtering thing.
Right.
Where they have to do the udhiyah, slaughter their rams or camels or whatever.
Right.
And then go to throw the stones. All that processes, which is even the central theme, can take place within the 3 days that is declared as Ayyam al-Tashriq.
Right.
3 days following the Eid, the 11th, 12th, 13th day, you can still perform all that, even the sacrifice which God used as the pillar of Hajj that Abraham did. You can do it either the first day, the second day, or the 3rd day. But if you are not well educated, you go there and you think that, no, everybody is going, I have to do it the first day. Some people are saying, I have to go and do it the first day. If you don't take care, this is what brings about the stampede. And then also, there's also a little bit of education that is needed. People need to be educated, like I said, on the health. As a pharmacist, I very much lay emphasis on people, because I've seen people go there, you see them coughing. You see a lot of people in the conditions become manifest. Because all the steps that you need require a lot of energy, people with energy to do it. So if you go there and you have your health status is suspect.
Does it confirm the concern or argument that, yes, indeed, you must go to Hajj once in your lifetime as a Muslim, but you must go at a time that you are young or at a time that you are fit?
Ideally, it will be good if you go to Hajj when you are young.
Right.
When you are young, not means it means you should be of age.
Okay.
Because in Islam, everything is counted when you are of age,
right.
not as when you were a child.
Okay.
But once you come of age and you have attained a status in your life that you can take responsibility,
right.
it is good to perform Hajj when you are still strong.
Okay.
When you allow age to set in with you,
okay.
and you become very weak and decide to perform Hajj, you realize that some of the things you find yourself wanting.
Okay.
It's a spiritual exercise that you cannot do it with ignorance.
Right.
You need knowledge to do it. At every stage of Hajj, there is something for you to say.
Right.
At every stage of Hajj, there's a significance for you to take into your life.
Right.
So if you go to Hajj and you throw the stones, and you don't take the significance of throwing the stones,
okay.
throwing the stones to Satan, number one, is an emulation of what Abraham did as
right.
a matter of faith in defeating the devil.
Exactly.
But then you as a person, when you throw the stones, you must say to yourself that your bad habits yourself, you are throwing them away.
Right.
If you are doing things that are bad in your life, you are throwing them away. If you are not living up to expectation, you are throwing that away.
Okay.
So you do that to the Satan, as well as take lessons and say that for me, in throwing the stones, I'm not only throwing it to an invisible being, I am throwing it as well in changing my character. So that when I throw the stones and I come back and I am al-Hajj, okay, certain habits that are not correct with me, I let them go.
Okay. Is it a wake-up call for us to begin to think of educating the Muslim community that if you're going to Hajj and you get there and you are denied the access, it's not maybe victimization, or it's because nobody wants you to go to Hajj? Because recently some people were not able to go for the pilgrimage. I mean, some are young people, their concern is different, but there are people who had health issues, and for that matter they were not allowed to go, but they did not understand. Is it a wake-up call for us to begin to educate the Muslim community that your health is very important?
I think we ourselves, together with the educationists in the Muslim community, have to take up this responsibility. Hajj is a pillar, like I said, one of the strong pillars of Islam.
Okay.
But you go there when you have the means. But the Quran says that فَتَزَوَّدُوا فَإِنَّ خَيْرُ الزَّادِ التَّقْوَى. Prepare yourself, gather all your accoutrement, but the best is faith. But then I add that in the resources that you need, that is mentioned in this verse, one of the critical resources that you need to perform Hajj is health.
Yes.
Health is one of the most critical things that you need. So when you are denied of going to Hajj based on your health status, Allah has not willed that you go to Hajj.
Okay.
It is not compulsory that because it's one of the pillars of Islam and you are not well, you want to go and die there.
You want to go and die there.
That Islam doesn't say so.
Let me have you hold and speak with Sheikh Barima Osei Asare, who has just joined us in the program. Sheikh, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We're talking about being ill health, while and at the same time wanting to go to the Holy Land, and some having the notion that they want to go and die in the Holy Land. In fact, there's where the Nabis were buried. It is for this reason that now they have used something to barricade, because those times people go there, they get to that spot and they don't want to return. So does it mean that when you die, your health is not good and you die at the Holy Land, that is when God accepts you in heaven?
I think it's basically there's a misconception there. When you go on Hajj, what the Prophet tells us is that if you do your Hajj and it's authentic, you come back home as clean as a newly born person.
Exactly.
So, flowing from the logic of this text,
right,
of the Prophet's normative expressions, then you know that you don't go on Hajj in order to die.
Right.
But if the death happens to you accidentally over there,
right,
then the belief is that because through the rituals performed, you have a cleansing of the soul, and then the compassion of God that has come to you,
right,
you qualify and you merit entering into. So everybody goes on Hajj with the intention, departure, you go, all your well-wishers, friends, they come around you.
And see
the
you
excitement,
off.
they see you off.
Right.
They want to receive you back with excitement.
Exactly.
So there's no logic. It's a misnomer to think that one goes and then decides to
go and die there.
over there.
Right.
So like my brother just said, Islam is a, is a religion that is well ordered.
Right.
And so you find that every item of worship is preceded by certain prescriptive conditions.
Right.
And those conditions need to be known. In other words, for you to engage in that particular ritual, you must fulfill certain conditions. That is why in the case of the Hajj, for example, one of the critical conditions is that you must be able including your health status.
Exactly.
Yeah. So if you are going and your health status, you have a health problem, which can be a problem for you over there. It makes sense spiritually. It makes sense within the logics of our legal prescriptions that you stay and make sure that your health is good. And then you can go next year. Now, even spiritually, when you make an intention for something good and for certain natural reason you are unable to do, in fact, in the presence of God, in the books of your life, it's been written that you have done. So there are many people who did not perform the Hajj, yet they have made an intention. On the surface of the earth, they are not al-Hajjis. On earth. But in the face of God. But in the presence of God, they are al-Hajjis. This needs to be understood. And I think that it should be part and parcel of the job of the Hajj committee or operation that assembles scholars. That ahead of the Hajj season itself, it should be part of their responsibility, clientele. Because you see, when you are organizing people, they pay money, you become the agent. They have certain rights. I think that thing has not been factored in very well. They have a right to even information that you need to pass on to them. It becomes part and parcel of your duty. Yeah, to engage them and give them this kind of understanding. If it means engaging scholars who will sit on the radios all over, or at mosques, or in town hall meetings, trying to make the people understand this, I think that it will do us a lot of good. I think this is the best understanding.
For me, I have been there, and I keep on saying that yes, there have been improvement, because if you listen to those who went before us, the kind of things they were saying, even in Mina, where you have air conditions and you have mattresses to sleep on, it was an improvement. But I think that security still needs to be beefed up. I don't know if I'm wrong with that.
No, you are right, but I will give a little credit to the Saudi authorities, because post every season era, they engage in some renovations, rehabilitations. Sometimes, as we speak now, before the current Hajj, for example, they were trying to expand the space for the circumambulation in order that they create greater space for the thronging of the pilgrims to be able to do it with comfort. So the comfort of the pilgrims is part and parcel of the thinking of the Saudi authorities. But it appears to me that probably post-Hajj, I'm not sure whether they are able to take proposals from the Hajj delegations that go for post-Hajj conferences to be able to factor those things so that we reduce risk. Because the safety of the pilgrims is also on a high point. That you guarantee their comfort too, you guarantee their safety. Three, guarantee their security. So that they go and come back in comfort. So it's something that I think that, I don't know how they get informed to be able to undertake some of the renovations that are undertaken. In my view, we need to do post-Hajj review. Yeah. Now, when the Hajj operatives come, for example, I'm specifically referring to the Hajj organization or authority. I expect that they should be transparent enough to put together a certain report. The report must come with recommendations. We must share. Those sharing of recommendations, for example, will not be our own. We'll pass it back to them. So that when they are going for post-Hajj conference, the delegation should be able to put this in front of them. One, for example, I cannot understand why even during the Hajj season, cranes, for example, were still there. We expect in a good planning that all these things should have been done, guaranteeing the safety
of the people.
Of the people. So you don't allow the thing to happen, probably, and you give some compensation. Compensation does not bring back life. So if you ask me, I would have said that there was a certain deficiency over there. And then the lesson is there for us, all of us to learn.
Okay, Sheikh, okay, you want to add something?
I just wanted to add, I agree with him on the issue of the cranes, for instance. They shouldn't be there in the first place. And all the explanations cannot replace the lives that have been lost. What I can credit them for, just like he said, is that before the Hajj started, they put over 100,000 policemen around this year, more than the previous years. And they made sure that they put over 250 ambulances at various places to convey the people. But then the people are trying to link this with a possible form of terrorism. It doesn't have any link with it, because I can assure you, because of the presence of also of our friends, the Americans, Saudis are very much alert, and also our country, Yemen, is also, they bother them in Yemen. So security is at the top. But then internally, the crane issues and all those construction and expansion that is taking place during the Hajj season, Umrah you can allow it, but during the Hajj season, we expect that they relax those things. Go back.
One school of thought will say that, okay, let's give them the benefit of the doubt that this is the whole world coming to perform the Hajj, and so probably that the Saudi authorities are overwhelmed with the crowd. How about the individual countries? Are we doing enough to protect our people? And in this sense, I would narrow down to Ghana, our own country. How did we prepare to take care of our citizens?
I think Ghana, every year, I'm happy Sheikh Armiao is here. They are almost at the forefront of the Hajj issues. And Ghana, there's not been adequate preparation in Ghana. This year, today I was very privileged and happy to share the days with His Excellency the Vice President at the Ifwa Sutherland Children's Park. And when I was sitting to the next Vice President, the Imam was talking about security issues and the fact that Ghana needs to be alert. And then the youth, and the fact that the youth need to be educated to understand basic Islamic principles, so that we understand our religion well. You see, when you are an individual and you understand your religion very well, your neighbor who may not be a Muslim, you will be in a position as an alim on your own to educate the person. Even if he's not a Muslim, he would coexist with you peacefully. But you realize that this year, a number of people could not go. Along with that one, those who could not go, some of them are genuine, procedural issues, but others are on health grounds. But then a lot of people came. I've talked to a lot of Hajis. Shekaranga, this year, but you look at the person, and I told you, Baba, you came here and I told you your condition is such that you may have to manage it for some time, maybe next year or next 2 years.
We simply have to understand.
But the other notion people have is that even if I'm not well, if I go there, I will pray for Allah to heal me. That is also another notion.
And that goes into what Sheikh Armiao said, that if you have the wish to go and for any natural reason you are not able to go, God has already marked you in His book. Let me thank you both for coming and wish you Eid Mubarak. I would have loved to continue this conversation, but that's what time will allow us. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. We've been talking about the stampede in Makkah today that has killed over 700 people and over 800 people injured. And we've been talking about how we can prevent these occurrences every year or annually. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Good evening.